Hello everyone, and welcome back to True Crimes and Cartel History. Today, we're going over to Ireland. We're doing a group by the name of the Kinahan Cartels, Ireland's drug lords who went global. Before there was El Chapo, and long after Tony Montana said hello to his little friend, there was Christy Kinahan, a quiet, well-read Irishman with a taste for suits, strategy, and smuggling cocaine the way most of us smuggle chocolate through customs. Welcome to the story of the Kinahan Cartel, the Irish mafia network that went from small-time crooks to global drug barons with a foot in boxing, a base in Dubai, and a bounty bigger than most Powerball jackpots. This isn't fiction. This is Ireland's biggest true crime saga. Let's begin. The story starts in Dublin, Ireland, back in the 1980s. Meet Christy Kinahan, nicknamed the Dapper Don, because nothing says I'm running a drug empire like wearing a tie to court. Christy was smart, like read 5 languages and still sells heroin smart. He wasn't your average knucklehead. He studied finance, spoke Spanish, and even did prison time like a gentleman. While behind bars for drug offenses, he wasn't lifting weights. He was building an empire, studying law, learning languages, and probably figuring out how to move bricks without moving a muscle. When he got out, he was just back on the streets, but he was thinking bigger. Christy moved to the Costa del Sol in southern Spain, a sunny place where Irish criminals, English expats, and retired mobsters all share the same beach. From Marbella, Christy turned the small-time operation into a full-blown international cartel. He linked up with South American cartels, yes, those guys, and started moving tons of cocaine in Europe. We're talking James Bond level logistics, hidden compartments, fake passports, shell companies. If this guy had spent his time on Amazon logistics, your packages would show up before you ordered them. By the time 2000s hit, the Kinahans were moving millions in euros in drugs, laundering money through real estate, betting shops, and maybe even a fish and chip shop or two. Now meet Daniel Kinahan, Christy's son. Less books, more boxing. Less Don Draper, more Dana White with a dark side. Daniel tried to rebrand the family's image. He started MTK Global, a legit boxing promotion company. Suddenly, this international drug lord was rubbing shoulders with world champions. He even helped organize fights for Tyson Fury, who once publicly thanked Daniel, which was probably the worst PR move since Pepsi tried to end police brutality with a soda. Daniel was trying to go legit, at least in public, but behind the scenes, investigators say he was running the cartel's logistics, setting up drug routes, laundering money, and allegedly ordering hits like it was Uber Eats for violence. Every cartel needs a nemesis, right? Enter Jerry the Monk Hutch, a well-dressed Dublin gangster with a no-nonsense attitude and apparently zero chill. In 2015, Jerry's nephew, Gary Hutch, once close to the Kinahans, was murdered in Marbella. Rumors was the Kinahans ordered the hit. Jerry, he didn't take it well at all. What followed was the Kinahans-Hutch feud, the kind of gang war that would make the Sopranos say, "Whoa, lads, let's calm down." In 2016, during a boxing weigh-in in Dublin's Regency Hotel, Kinahan's associates were targeted in a shooting. The gunmen, dressed as Irish police, carrying AK-47s and clearly not there for the buffet. David Byrne, one of Daniel's top men, was killed. It was brazen, bold, and basically the moment when Ireland realized that this wasn't just gangland business. This was full-on narco warfare. The Regency attack got everyone's attention. The Gardaí, Interpol, the DEA, and probably your nosy aunt who watches too much true crime. International pressure started mounting. The U.S. Treasury Department labeled the Kinahan Cartel a transnational criminal organization, which is government speaks for. These guys are real bad news. In April 2022, the U.S. offered $5 million each for information leading to the arrest of Christy, Daniel, or Christy Jr. That's $15 million total, or roughly how much the cartel made on a slow Tuesday. And just like that, MTK Global collapsed. Daniel's public profile disappeared, and the walls started closing in. So where are the Kinahans now? Well, they're not in Ireland, that's for sure. Christy and Daniel are believed to be hiding out in Dubai, because when you got heat from 4 continents, the deserts start to look real cozy. Daniel's keeping a low profile, no more boxing promotions, no more interviews, just sand, surveillance, and probably a really paranoid morning routine. Their assets are frozen. Their allies are arrested. Their names, radioactive. But here's the twist. Despite all of this, the cartel hasn't been fully dismantled. Like a bad sequel, it keeps moving. Maybe quieter, maybe smaller, but it's not dead yet. The Kinahan Cartel started as a father-son operation in the rough neighborhoods of Dublin, Ireland, and grew into a global crime machine that laundered money, controlled boxing, and left a trail of bodies across Europe. They're still on the run, still wanted, and still dangerous. But the empire is cracking. The suits have been traded for subpoenas. The cocaine routes are being mapped by law enforcement instead of smugglers. And that $5 million reward is still on the table. So if you're planning a trip to Dubai and bump into a guy who looks nervous every time someone says extradition, maybe keep your phone in your hand. You should probably keep it in your hand. They tried to box their way out of crime, but in the end, it looks like the Kinahans punched a little too high above their weight class.